You listen to me, you go to the top. You don't listen to me, and you never heard from again. Rest in peace, Bobby Heenan. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Manny from New Jersey. I am Matt Sassuti along with the broken one, Rob Povia. And we got the Darkwing, Brian Daly, behind the board today. And we are live on both YouTube, the new website that has officially been launched. That's exciting. And on Facebook Live. Hello, everyone out there on the interwebs. This is the Hockey Happy Hour. Like I said, live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Manny from New Jersey. And we're brought to you by the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. Gentlemen, hockey season has begun. Well, hockey preseason, but I can still dream.
That counts.
It does count. It does count. Hockey has officially started. The Flyers had their first opening preseason matchup against the New York Islanders. Sadly, it was an OTL that they suffered, but to be fair, we had mostly our prospects dressed, and they had at least 5 starters dressed for the evening. So I think the Islanders were in it to win it on that particular occasion. We were in it to scout. So
see what the kids have to say.
Absolutely, and we got lots to talk about as lots of prospects and lots of rooks made their presence felt early here in training camp, and that is a very good thing, folks, because we want this youth movement to get going on the right track and on the right path. It's been going well so far. We want that trend to continue because before you know it, while the Islanders will be having to pull out their walkers and their canes and their blood transfusions because they're too old and they can't do anything on the ice, we'll be nice, young, fast, and just easily outskating them.
They're just too old.
Just too old.
So, folks, hopefully everybody got a chance to take a peek at the Islanders-Flyers preseason matchup. If you didn't, don't worry. We will have everything that you need for your hockey desires. And then, of course, we also have some things happening around the league as well. The Las Vegas Golden Knights in particular, having a special moment there for them and a memorable one because they are entering their inaugural season into the NHL. But first, let's get into training camp and let's get started with this New York Islanders-Philadelphia Flyers matchup. And, well, I can safely say this, from the roster lineup, we were definitely looking at a very, 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 very young team that night, and possibly the team of the future for Philadelphia. The Flyers had put out on skates Travis Konechny, Michael Raffl, Yuri Laterra, Scott Lawton, Matt Reed, Cole Bardreau, Mikhail Vorobiev, Oscar Lindblom, German Rubstov, Nolan Patrick, and Mike Vecchione, as well as Ivan Kosarenko. Oh, wow. That's the first time I think I've tripped up on a hockey name. Kosarenkov.
2 minutes in the box for you.
Yeah, 2 minutes from me. Kosarenkov.
Coming from me,
yeah.
who butchers names like I said.
Kosarenkov, who was the other forward dressed defense-wise. We had Ivan Provorov, Robert Hogg, Samuel Moran, Shane Gostisbehere, Travis Sanheim, and Philip Myers, along with goaltenders Leland Irving, who actually we did not mention at any point during our hyping up of the prospects, and Alex Lyon, who you kind of forget is another one of the goalie prospects the Flyers had signed not all that long back. About a year ago we signed him.
Good first save right off the bat, too, getting him into the game. It was a phenomenal save.
Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, man, this is a very young roster, very blue chipper roster, but early on, man, they were showing very good signs and just very good chemistry. That they weren't feeling overpowered. And they weren't exhausted, and they came out fired and passionate and wanting to make a statement early. And that's a good thing because you need that when you're pushing forward and you're getting into the season because you can always have that rust going into your first regular preseason game.
Absolutely.
Or your first however it may be. Point being is that no matter what, though, there's always that, sign of whether or not, there's going to be some ring rust or not.
Right.
But they didn't really show any signs of it.
No, it's good. It's good. You also had the birth of a new line name, which is pretty cool. And it goes right along with what you were saying, Maddie, called the Kids line. And that's Oscar Lindblom, who's another guy that we talked about, or we didn't talk about in terms of potentiality of making this squad paired up with Nolan Patrick and Travis Konechny, and man, they just have chemistry from Jump Street, particularly Konechny and Nolan Patrick. Man, if the potentiality of this line making it to the big club would be very exciting, and Konechny having a full year, this being going into his second year in the NHL, could really guide these two young pups to success.
Yeah, and that would be the exciting side of it. But not only that, it would also just add more scoring depth that we absolutely need on our lines because we just lost it completely this past year. Anything to get the goal scoring going for the Flyers will serve, and I do not care. We need goal scoring. Even if Jori Lehtera goes on a 30-goal spree, I don't think it's going to happen. But if he winds up doing that, it's like, hey, I'll take it. That immediately means we won the Braden Shen trade right there. It's like he gave us a 30-goal season, and when we thought he was going to be a fourth-line player.
Yeah. Well, he's looked good so far. In game one, he definitely was one of the standouts.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely something that you got to look forward to there. Seeing a guy like Jori Lehtera, who's a veteran, coming in, don't really know how it's going to work out for him fitting in and showing early signs that maybe this will be a good fit for him in Philadelphia for however long he may be in a Flyers jersey, which probably won't be too long, but still.
Right. Absolutely.
So, Brian, Mr. Daly, the Dark Wing himself, did you get a chance to see the Islanders and Flyers?
I did not get a chance to see the Islanders and Flyers, but from what it sounds like, it was a lot of trying to figure out placement for players.
Pretty much.
Figuring out who's going to stay, who's going to go, who's going to work well with this guy, who's going to work well with that guy. And that's basically what your first few games of preseason hockey is going to be. It's figuring out, okay, so who are we going to send down right away, who's going to last through training camp, who do we give a legitimate look at? And if that one kid line is, anything true to what Rob was just saying, yeah, it's going to be a very, very, very dangerous line for the Philadelphia Flyers in the future.
Absolutely. And, I mean, a great thing is Nolan Patrick coming, from the juniors straight to the NHL level did not look out of place at all in this game one. He certainly, like I said, showed good chemistry with Konechny, setting him up right in the slot early on in that game. They didn't bury it, but that's exciting to see for the future. And a lot of other people are excited to see that. I've seen here on the Facebook, in terms of comments here, getting back to it. A couple people had said in response to our poll, which Flyers player impressed you the most in the preseason opener? A couple people went Patrick. Where did the comments go? They just disappeared. All right, here we go. Bam. Yeah. Tommy's saying Nolan Patrick. Another dude saying Nolan Patrick. We got Mike Mataraki going, sorry, boys, was watching the Birds, but I was told that TK looked strong. Yes, he did.
He did.
And Tim Flyers, which I love that. That's a hi, Don. How you doing? Chiming in here. Tim Flyers, which is his handle, goes with another, Mike Vecchione. Looked pretty good in this game, too, so that's great. And J.D. Dilks goes, Nolan Patrick has been looking great all training camp. Yesterday, he was making Couturier look silly in head-to-head face-offs. It was great.
Sounds like somebody was up at the skate zone watching practice the other day, weren't you, J.D.?
Yes.
Yeah. But you know what? That's a good thing, though. I like it. I like it so much. This is going to be a fun year. I can already tell from the Flyers. I mean, preseason's already getting started off on the right big. And not only that, too, Nolan Patrick coming in and making a statement early and not looking out of place. Keep in mind, too, he recovering from a sports hernia.
JD goes, yup.
And not only that, too, sports hernia-wise, you think like, oh man, that's a serious injury, and he said he was 100%, and man, he's proven it right. Like he is 100%. He said he was skating fast and skating hard. This game, he definitely was doing all of that. I mean, it's starting to really look like we might have Nolan Patrick on our opening night roster. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but was this first game's any indication, it doesn't really look like he's suffering any kind of rust, any kind of tear, any kind of anything from that injury. It looks like he recovered from it fantastically.
Absolutely. And another thing to solidify or back up your point is that in days 1 and 2 of camp, he was paired with Jordan Wheel and Wayne Simmons.
Oh.
So they're really seeing what this kid can do because ideally, like you said, he's earmarked for at the very least second-line center, if not first-line center. Sorry, G.
Yeah, I mean, future looks bright for Nolan Patrick, and he's your second overall pick in this past draft. You obviously have high expectations for the guy going into and coming out of training camp. A lot of people are seeing this guy on a pro roster out of training camp. I don't necessarily see it yet. I got to see him play with my own eyes first. But I like the confidence this kid brings. Says he feels more explosive now than he ever has.
Right.
Especially after this sports hernia surgery. But I'm sure a lot of that is anxiety, nervousness, anticipation to get the season started. I mean, it's his first pro season. He's ready to go.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And hockey, unlike other sports, sometimes you need to temper expectations in these other sports in terms of level of play when it comes to preseason, spring training, whatever may. But unlike those sports, hockey, you can really gauge these players because you're going against, maybe you're going against some other kids on other teams that they're looking to see if they fit in, but that's not the majority.
Actually, a lot of people are chiming in on Facebook Live now. Tom Arnone chiming in with, "Oh yeah, I'm not here to lie to the people. I didn't watch a lick of the Flyers game." Wishful thinking, saying Nolan Patrick. And we have Jen Greening chiming in with Vecchione. Mark Goldman, Vecchione is the man. Talk about him. Everybody wants to hear about him. And Ashley Graham just chiming in with TK. As far as Mike Vecchione goes, to me, this kid already has the spot solidified.
Yeah.
He showed that last year. I think you're really going to see something out of this kid this year.
I think so, too. We've been seeing it. I mean, he only had 2 games during last year's season, so we couldn't really see much of him. But we had heard a lot of good things about him in training camp, and then he comes out in this game. He has a very strong game. He winds up deflecting the shot from Shane Gostisbehere into the net, that causing the first goal for the Flyers. I mean, that's already a good early showing of, Vecchione's going to get into that dirty area. He's going to try and cause some problems. Not only that, too, he's going to have that nose for the net early. That's what you want. You want a guy who's going to be a goal scorer or a possible setup guy to be that guy. He has to be in those spots in that crease, causing kinds of problems. And, hey, you know what? If that helps Shane Gostisbehere fire more accurately on net, then so be it. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I think Vecchione's a lock. Patrick and Lindblom are the ones that are the big hopefuls.
Yes.
And you can see that by them being paired with other NHL talent to see how they mix, how they mesh. And so far, so good. And, certainly Laterra, too, man, coming over in that deal. I believe I did say something to that effect, but to back up that point, he's looked really good. I think he could really help this team sort of make up for what we lost with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
I think he will. I think he'll do that and then some.
Which is good because we needed penalty killing. If we can get the special teams on the right track, then we're in a good spot right there because that kind of had a little trouble.
Now, 2 other guys I'll briefly mention just for the point that I'm making here, and that's Cole Bardreau. I have a love affair with that guy. Well, he came out on Saturday and just hit everything. Everything. And then Sam Moran comes in, and I believe this might have been the rookie game last week, but I know in the first 5 minutes got into a fight, totally obliterated the dude. Both Bardreau and Moran, when it's their time to wear the orange and black, are just going to be Philly favorites. Like a throwback to the Broad Street Bullies days.
Well, Moran's time is now.
Yeah.
So he has no. If he doesn't make this pro roster, then he is definitely not worth the time. Just trade him, get rid of him.
Right. Yeah, I'm right with you on that, bro.
Ooh. Comment. Great question on Facebook Live here, and we'll get to some of the other comments too. Joe Ritter asks, do you think Matt Reed goes into another slump? Will he be traded? Can I answer this?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, that's what Matt Reed does. That's his MO. He'll go on a nice scoring streak like he did last year, have 5 goals in 5 games, and then you won't hear his name for the rest of the damn season. Yes, trade him, but I don't know what you're going to get for him.
Well, we won't get any picks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We might get a 4th line scratchable player who will be a 1-year rental.
I'll take a 4th and or 5th round pick for him. I'd take that. That'd be good value. You should start nicknaming him Perry, as in Katy Perry, because he's hot and he's cold. And that's what he is. You know what I mean? He's a streaky player, but when he's hot, man, he's a sniper. So that's what's the frustrating thing about him in terms of what the Flyers want to do with him.
It's tough because, like I said, there's not much you're going to get for him because he doesn't really have that the brilliance in his game like he did his first year. It's not there.
He's really never been the same since Peter Laviolette exited Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Really, in all honesty.
And you're on to something. I think a team whose system may favor Reed, and they know that through advanced scouting, might be willing to give equal value.
Possibly.
Joe Ritter comes back with, that would be good for him, and suggests maybe buyout. Unfortunately, the Flyers used up both of their MSD buyouts, so they can't really buy him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to use that on the wonderful Ilya Bryzgalov and believe who was the other one they bought out of their contract?
Danny Briere, wasn't it?
Danny Briere,
Danny
yeah,
Briere?
because Danny was planning on they had him sign long term and he went up to Montreal. That's right. But anyway, still, I mean, Matt Reed going into a slump, that's most likely going to happen, sadly. And you know what? This will probably be his last year in a Flyers jersey. Most likely. I can't imagine him sticking around. I really can't imagine. Whether we trade him for nothing or we get something for him, he cannot stay on this team.
I would trade Matt Reed for a bottle of water.
Maybe a bottle of water and a
Tell
bag
the people
of
how you
pucks.
really feel.
Nah, man. I don't like this guy. Ever since Laviolette left, he's just been going downhill.
He has been. He's kind of like Sean Couturier. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, I mean, this Couturier has some two-way value. I don't even think
but still.
Matt Reed even has that.
Well, okay, I got you on that one, but still, though, same thing. It seems like Couturier was playing better when Lavi was here than not.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big problem, though. I mean, he's an unrestricted free agent next season. You get what you can get from him this year, whether that be, bottom 6 forward or a healthy scratch. And then you just part ways with him.
Yeah, pretty much. He might even be out of the league once he's done with Philadelphia.
Real quick, I want to get to some of these other comments real fast. Tim Flyers chiming in. With Vecchione partnered with Ghost, scores a goal. How can you not put him on the roster? Ghost and Vec won a Frozen Four, and we have them again.
I was just about to say their union days, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mark Goldman says the same thing, like 2014 National Championship game at Union. And EJ Tribuniak, if I butchered your name, I apologize, could always send him to Nashville for someone from there. But I don't know who you would, have a value for Matt Reed.
PK Subban's Tolant.
Actually, I think that's still a little overvalued for Matt Reed.
Yeah, I think so. Right. I was trying to match your ferocity there.
Maybe the dandruff of Roman Yossi. But anyway.
Peke Rine's jock.
No, that's actually overvalued. But anyway.
Yes.
But with that all being said, we move past Matt Reed, get past the garbage, and look towards the setup of some actual interesting play that happened here with Nolan Patrick. He took the game's first penalty and then a 2-minute minor for slashing. And just after that, Konechny started exchanging words and shoves with Jason Chimera on the Isles.
Getting each other's back already.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. I love these guys, as talented and young pups as they are, still playing with that chip on their shoulder. Gostisbehere looked fast. Just to throw that out there for summing up this Islander game. He looked fast. He looked like he could be back. And people say, where'd he go? Well, he just did. He was definitely slower on his skates in his sophomore year last year. And it was indicative about being in proper position and also just having weight behind his shots and often missing the net, which was a commonality in 2016-17.
Well, I mean, sophomore slump, which I'm pretty sure that's what that was. I think he'll bounce back. There won't be any problem there. Way too much talent he has to not bounce back.
Sure.
Plus, also, having a guy like Vecchione, as we were talking about with the Union relationship and being old buddies, having won a Frozen Four, already having scored a goal together, pretty sure this won't be a struggling year for Shane Gostisbehere. I mean, think about it this way. You could put him and Vecchione on a special team, and you could make a dangerous power play just out of that without even having to have them play one game.
Right.
Because the chemistry's there. So
Right.
I don't think it'll be a big struggle for Gostisbehere this year. Ghost and Vecchione are going to probably do just fine.
Oh, no, he's taken a big step up this year. I think am I going to say this? Yeah, I think he's got a shot at winning Best Defenseman of the Year. You heard it here first.
So possible Norris Trophy candidate is Mr. Shane Gostisbehere.
I just have a good feeling that he's going to have a strong season this year.
You're not the only one. J.D. Dilk says the same thing. Teams had time to scout Ghost, and I think he worked on that to bounce back this year.
Perfect point, man.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
You want on the show? Come on the show. Let's go. Let's go. Replace me, please. No, just kidding.
But anyway, so great stuff here coming from the Flyers. Already having each other's back, like we were saying before. Gostisbehere and Vecchione's relationship already kicking in that chemistry. There's just a lot of good upside here from the rookies, like we were expecting from this offseason, and also a little bit of a front office change that came in. Hextall confirming the hiring of Kings former GM Dean Lombardi, and that was right before Sunday's preseason game. And that's an interesting situation. They're just flip-flopping their roles. Hextall's the GM, and Lombardi's working under him.
Yeah, I mean, technically his role's undefined right now, so whether it be working under him, maybe go back to, he was a scout for the Flyers in 2003 to 2006, but as you pointed out during the show...
I don't know if that helps his case.
Right, exactly. But the two worked great and got the Kings a Stanley Cup in 2012. So, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Dean Lombardi. I mean, bringing him over here is good on twofold. One, he brings his expertise to the upper brass here with the Philadelphia Flyers. And two, it tells me that Hexy's here for the long haul. You know what I mean? Like, I had a little funny feeling that he might try to get that Kings GM job, that was vacated by Dean Lombardi's firing, when his contract ended with the Flyers, because he definitely made a lot of friends, a lot of roots there in L.A. I know that pains you to say, why would Hextall ever leave the team that he played for? But in the end, front office is a lot different than skating on the ice. Let's face facts.
There's not as much loyalty as a GM because you're hired and you're brought in to put the best product you can out on the ice and do the best you can to bring a cup to your city. It's different when you're a player.
Right.
But still, though, I mean, this hiring, though, of Dean Lombardi, I like it because even though Dean's role is undefined, let's be honest, you can't tell me that no matter what role they put him in, they could put him as the director of finance. And I guarantee you, Hexy's probably knocking on his office talking to him about hockey stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind that those two are going to be working hand in hand to build what they built out in Los Angeles here in Philadelphia.
I got it. Fire Paul Holmgren and make him president. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, I would like to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to play I'm sure he's going to play like a player development role or a assistant GM, head of scouting again, maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
I really don't know. There's so many different areas you can use a guy like Dean Lombardi, especially with his Stanley Cup expertise, winning 2.
And hockey guys are humble. He won't be like, oh, well, you were my assistant. I'm not going to be your assistant. No, that ain't going to happen. No. It's all about team.
No. Yeah, exactly.
And it's all about getting a ring. And they already got 2. I'm pretty sure they want to add a third one, possibly another one after that in Philadelphia.
I love it.
If they can add 2 more to that and have those 2 be in Philly to match what the Bullies did in the 70s, I'm not going to complain. I don't think I have one complaint. Not in my body. Not at all.
Yeah. There's the quote, Claude Giroux here real quick. Great quote. He goes, your first goal is to always make the playoffs, and then you go from there. I think our division is tough, but at the same time, our team, we're molding as a good team pretty quick here. Having those young guys come in and make a difference for us right away, I think it's going to make us a pretty dangerous team.
I think so, too. But you know what? That's a good thing to hear, Giroux say. Now he's got to prove it.
Yes.
Work with these guys. Make this happen, Don't be that stick in the mud last year, man. If you got to be the setup guy, be that setup guy, but have the tools, and if you don't have the tools around you, shoot. Mm-hmm. Just shoot. If you can't find the pass, shoot. And you may be surprised.
My biggest gripe with a lot of, especially the power play last year, was he passed way too much, in my opinion.
Way too much. You're
Always
right.
trying to get too cute.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sean Couturier had so many opportunities that I saw he would get in the high slot, and next thing you know, he's passing the puck to somebody. I'm like, you're in a high slot, man. That's prime real estate right there.
Yeah.
You got to
buddy.
take that shot.
Yeah, when you're in that slot, that's your shot. That's your shooting. That's your shooting advantage right there. You have to score.
Especially when they give it to you.
Yes.
You have to. You can't
Yes.
pass that puck again.
Yeah, how many teams were guilty of it too? We never took advantage of it, you know.
Right.
And how many teams took way too many penalties and we still couldn't make them pay for it, you know? That has to stop. It has to stop this year.
Well, I think with new power play coach Kevin Albach, I think that's going to stop. I think there's going to be a huge difference in the power play. I think we're going to see a lot.
Yeah, and again, this is still a transition, as we were saying before, but we're starting to see Hackstall get the coaches he wants around him. Hextall's getting guys from the outside that he thinks would be perfect to be on the front office for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And he went and grabbed good plug-and-play players in the past, as well as signing some unknowns like Alex Lyon, who might very well possibly be another future goalie prospect for us or ammunition for a trade in the near future. Point being is that he's been building this slowly and very subtly. He hasn't been doing the big splash. The biggest splash they've made is signing Brian Elliott. That is the biggest splash they made, which now I will retract all my hatred for it because, unfortunately, Stoli was hurt. And he's out indefinitely. We will not see him this year, most likely. So the Elliott trade is officially now officially a good signing at this point, just because of that reason alone.
Yeah, and I said this, and I'm sure you guys have said the same thing. There had to be a reason for it, and Hextall probably knew something that nobody else did, which is why he went after Brian Elliott. And now I think we know what that actually is, and that's the meniscus tear in his knee that he took surgery. That had surgery on, and he'll be out indefinitely.
Yeah.
Right, and Carter Hart's not advanced enough to compete at this point in the NHL level. He will be. He's the best. He's the top.
I think he'll be the AHL level by the end of the season.
Yeah,
he probably will be. Yeah,
Agreed.
and then he might spend a year in the AHL, and then he could very easily be in a Flyers jersey if he progresses as fast as they are projecting him to progress.
Right.
Yeah, on the prospect level, so deep at goaltender.
Real quick, got a couple more comments coming in. Greg Malakovich chiming in. I'm going to say Patrick just because I want that to be the answer. But sorry, didn't watch the tick of the game itself. I don't think that game was televised on Sunday. I really don't because I personally didn't see it.
Well, it might have been. I think it was televised with the Islanders. I think they did that.
I watched it online.
Yeah, it might have been. Either way, though, point is that there was it probably was because it was in Long Island. But anyway, still though, I mean, Patrick is definitely going to be the main, big
focus.
Yeah, big focus here because he is the number 2 overall pick. He's skating very well. He's recovered, it seems, completely from his sports hernia, and now it's looking very possible he'll be our starting second-line center come the beginning of this season. And if that happens, awesome. Then we can just start putting players around him, and then we can have 2 very, very dangerous lines going into this season that could score immediately.
Jumping back real quick to our conversation about the goaltenders and Carter Hart, J.D. Dilks chiming in once again, and I'm starting to really like this guy. Juan Couturier shouldn't be on the power play anyway and shouldn't this year, luckily.
Yep.
Agreed. He probably won't be.
Penalty kill.
Right. And then he also goes to say Hart's confident, though, said this summer that he will be ready to compete for a spot in the NHL in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
That's a good progression. I mean, that's what a lot of people
sounds
have been
about
saying.
right.
People
21,
have been saying
22.
that,
I like it because it's accurate, and 2, it shows bravado. It shows confidence. That's what you need in a goaltender, confidence that can't get shooken off of his game and just stays calm in the net, and that's what Carter Hart is.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I think that the goaltending situation it should not be a problem anymore in the near future for Philadelphia. Because, unfortunately, it has been a major problem for Philadelphia, And it's been one of the underlying reasons why, no matter how good our team's been, we have not been able to get either into the Stanley Cup Finals or we've gotten into the Stanley Cup Finals, but we just didn't match the team we were up against.
Correct.
I mean, if we had had a better goalie in that 2010 Stanley Cup Finals, we may have stolen it. May have. I'm not saying we would have because we would have had to play Game 7.
Oh, I'll say
in
it for you.
Chicago.
We would have. Oh,
But
yeah.
still, point being, though, is that if we had had a better goalie, it would have been a possibility.
There are a few spectacular plays away from winning that series. You know, you stop Kane there on that series-ending goal or whatnot, you know.
And we are still, I mean, honestly, we are still the only team out of all three of those opponents that the Chicago Blackhawks have faced. We are the only team to have taken them to the distance.
Yeah.
Tampa didn't,
Rest my hat
and
on that.
neither did Boston, really, at the end of the day.
Truth.
I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at either one of you guys. Michael Klinkoff, Mikey of FDN, chiming in. Other Crosby.
He's going to make the Flyers, yeah? Yeah.
I mean,
I'll take him.
okay.
Right?
I mean,
I think the hatred in Philly will stop.
We got the deal. Matt Reed for Sidney Crosby. Boom.
Take it.
perfect.
Boom.
Perfect. There
Right
we
there.
go. There we go. Because, you know, Matt Reed and Crosby, they are on the same level. Don't let the lack of stats fool you. Matt Reed's a great, great goal scorer. He just needs to be in the right system. And I
Yeah.
know for a fact the Pittsburgh system is a good system. Just put him over there. He'll be perfect. Put the C right on him.
Comes back with love you guys. I love you too, Mikey.
Yeah, all love here, Mikey. Anyway.
I'm not reading that one on the air.
Okay. All right, then. So, that'll do it for this beginning of the Flyers' journey of the 2017-18 campaign as they will begin their preseason, finish it off with a few more games, and then we kick into October and the beginning of the regular season, folks. I'm excited. Cannot wait till the Flyers head on out to San Jose to play their first game of the regular season. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun big time.
Salivating.
When we come back, we'll talk about a little bit what's going on around the league. We will also be bringing up some other topics that'll be hitting the Philadelphia Flyers as we move forward. That's on the other side. But first, let's talk to you about the BMW of Atlantic City. We are in the BMW of Atlantic City studios. And have you ever wanted the ultimate driving experience? Well, then you got to go to BMW of Atlantic City. They're easy to get to. They are minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway, and they are located at 6037 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 609-568-9200, and you can visit them at www.bmwofatlanticcity.com. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com, and we'll be right back right after this. A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
Holy shit! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I am Madison City, along with the Darkwing Brian Daly behind the board, and the broken one, Rob Povia, who will send you all to deletion. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We were talking about the Flyers and their first preseason matchup against the New York Islanders. Even though it was a losing effort, a lot of promise being shown by the Young Bucks, hoping to make this team and scratch their name on a Flyers jersey, and hopefully eventually scratching their name onto, dare I say, the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
This is all brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants, located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. You give them a call, 215-369-3300. Tax season. It did leave this past season, but guess what? It is coming right back around, and it will be here before you know it. So be ready, be prepared, get Gibson Mayer.
Let's put the final punctuation on it in case you weren't aware of the final result. The Flyers did go down 3-2 in overtime to the Islanders, and their next game will be tomorrow against the same Islanders club, 7 p.m. And then they have tomorrow listed twice here. I guess there's two tomorrows.
Split squad game.
Thank you. That would make sense. So there'll be a split squad, one on the island, one at home, and then Thursday, September 21st at Boston Bruins.
All right.
So excited.
It's going to be interesting. I can't wait. Hopefully we can trash the Bruins. That'd be nice.
Well,
Yes.
Ducks play San Jose tonight. I want to see if I can try and get that on NHL TV.
You might be able to. If not, you can always look at the wonderful world of the interwebs.
Well, technically it is the interwebs, but
Well, still, doesn't matter. Anyway.
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, you got it. Illegal streams. Anyway.
It's not.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we got so much more to get into. Rob, I do believe there's a couple of things that happened around the NHL. So what did happen?
Well, ironically, sticking with the Bruins, they agreed to terms with David Pastrnak for a 6-year, $40 million contract. The forward had 70 points last season with the Boston Bruins.
Well, I mean,
I love it.
Yeah, David Pastrnak was in their recent draft picks is probably turning out to be their best one in recently. So, I mean, he's drafted in 2012, I believe. So he's establishing himself in the NHL. I mean, it's not a bad signing by the Bruins at all. So.
No, I love it. He's the future of your franchise. He's your number one right winger right now, playing with Patrice Bergeron. He's just so good. He's got so much talent.
Would you say future captain of the Bruins?
No.
No?
No, not yet. I think the next guy in line to have it after Chara is going to be Patrice Bergeron.
Oh, I meant after Bergeron.
Maybe Brad Marchand.
Okay. All right. So still a little bit down on the line of ascension to the captaincy of Boston.
I mean, that's just my prediction. He very well could be.
What are you thinking, Rob? You think Pastrnak future captain of the Bruins?
He could be. He's got the leadership skills and leads by example. Good point scorer. 70 points, nothing to scratch at. I think the bottom line is, could he be? Yes, talent-wise. It just all depends on some guys are meant for that role and some aren't. It's sort of a vague statement, but you look at like a player like Jacob Voracek on our team, right? Is he, good talent on the ice? Sure. Does he lead by example? Sure. It's a guy you'd never see in the captain's role because you have to be demonstrative. When a guy is sucking ass, you need to, pin him one-on-one and be like, you need to step up, and that's not always a good, easy role to fill.
No, you're right. You got to be a good locker room guy just as much as you got to be a good player out on the ice. You got to be able to call people out on their bullshit and say, you know what, you're not playing as good as you should be. So step it up or get the fuck out. Simple as that. It's a very simple process.
Yep.
All right.
Also, a little noteworthy thing, and I'm wearing a Las Vegas cap for a reason today. Tyler Wong scored the first goal for the Golden Knights in their first preseason game.
Wow.
So he has that feather in his cap or what have you. Will he be a guy that scores their first regular season goal? Could be,
Possibly.
But bottom line is that Vegas Knights look pretty good, Brian was saying before the show, and that's just good for everybody. That's good for the league, that you see an expansion team come in here, be competitive. It's good for the Shield, and especially since I know their goal is to add another team for balance.
Yeah, they pretty much did a number on the Canucks. They won 9-4 against the Vancouver Canucks in this preseason matchup. I know the Knights definitely want to get their chemistry going early, and that's probably why they would just go full force into this. They want to make sure their team is competitive, but so far, man, a lot of the same names. Heika scoring a couple goals here. Wong scored twice in this game. Nosek scored as well. Tuck. Actually, I correct myself. Wong's got a hat trick in this game. So, wow. You're talking about making a presence early.
It's not only the first goal, he put two behind it.
Yeah, and then Heika getting two. So far, they've been they definitely are trying to establish themselves early as, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Western Conference.
Agreed.
That might be a little ways down the road to be a force, but they moved the puck well. They put a lot of good pressure on Vancouver goalie. And they didn't even have most of their starters in. Yeah. Eric Haula didn't play. James Neal didn't play. I did see Clayton Stoner get involved in a little fisticuffs. Shea Theodore looked pretty good passing the puck around for Las Vegas, and we miss him in Anaheim. It was an overall good performance from what I watched. I watched about half of the first period. I liked what I saw from Vegas.
We'll see what happens with Vegas when the regular season kicks in, but so far they're off to the right start in the preseason with their prospects. So, nothing wrong there. But moving into a quick little update here, go into yesterday's scores for the preseason for anybody out there who may not be a Flyers fan. Carolina Hurricanes got a 3-2 OT win on the Buffalo Sabres And the Canadiens took a loss to the Boston Bruins 3-2. The Rangers defeated the Islanders in a 1-0 OT victory. The Devils defeated the Capitals 4-1. The Senators won 6-2 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. A 3-2 victory for the Minnesota Wild in a shootout over the Winnipeg Jets. The Oilers and the Flames having a split squad matchup. The Oilers won 5-2 in one, and the Oilers won 5-4 in the other. So
they have enough talent to spread around, apparently.
Yeah.
The most noteworthy score I heard there, you said the Devils won 4-1.
They did 4-1 over the Capitals.
And that's the thing. I mean, that's got to be a good news for Devils fans because you're worried about your goal scoring coming into the season, putting up 4 goals. Now, I don't know who they were starting in net, yada, yada. But like I said before, and I'm going to stand by it, you can kind of go by a lot of these results in the preseason opposed to other sports because – it's, hockey's a different breed, different bird, or, different feather. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you got it. It's a different animal. It's different from baseball and football and basketball. Usually in baseball, preseason means about a lick of shit.
Right.
And football the same. So, but it could mean something here because of the fact that, you want to get yourself started in the right spot. And for the New Jersey Devils, they really did do that, actually. I mean, the only goal scorer for Washington was Nathan Walker, who scored first, but Mirko Mueller scored for the Devils. Stefan Noesen, Kyle Palmieri got a goal, and I do believe Nico Herscher also scored. So, I mean, already Nico Herscher starting. So it's a big situation for the Devils. The Devils wanted to get offense going, and they wanted Nico to start scoring. Nico's already starting.
Right.
So still a major situation for the Devils.
Number 1 pick for a reason.
Yeah, so, I mean, so far, preseason-wise, getting started early, getting started on the training camp.
As much as I want to say the Devils are going to be the last-place team in their division this year, they really have a good-looking lineup. Stefan Noesen's talented player. Kyle Palmieri, got to watch him for a good amount of time when he was playing with Anaheim. Tremendous player, tons of goal-scoring talent. Nico is I think he's going to easily make the Devils roster. And you just got to get some defense in front of Corey Schneider, and I think this Devils team will be all right.
Do you think
it's not something that either one of you want to hear? But
not really. No, not at all, actually. But
Josh Frank is interested.
Yeah,
probably is.
He's probably salivating right now at the idea of the Devils being competitive because that's something that's been rare and remarkable for the better part of 3 years now.
With this Metropolitan Division, it's very easy for the Devils to be a competitive team and still finish last.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. This is very true. You could be a damn good team and still finish last. And that's really a shame, too, for everybody in the division because when you think about it, though, it's not top 8 anymore. You have to try and get the 1 or 2 spot in the wild card or the top 3 spots in the division. So you could be fucked even though you have a pretty good team.
Tough division, man.
It is. It is a very tough division. And sadly, even though the Rangers are somewhat going downhill, the Capitals aren't slowing up anytime soon. Neither are the Penguins. Even though the Penguins did lose people, they're still going to be in the top 3. So it's not looking like anyone's coming down anytime soon. So, but anyway, for those out there who wish to get the jump on the preseason action going around as well, we got our Tuesday night matchups right here for you for Florida Panthers and the Nashville Preds, the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets, the Red Wings and the Bruins, the Penguins and the Sabres. And then along with it, you also have the Hurricanes and the Lightning, the Senators and the Maple Leafs again. And I believe it's a split squad game because the Panthers and the Predators are facing each other in another matchup at Penguins and Sabres. A lot of split squad matchups here. Hurricanes and Lightning. Lots of that going around. Blues and Stars. The Golden Knights will face the Avalanche. And your Anaheim Ducks there, Mr. Daly, against the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah, I'm going to try and watch that game tonight. I have a couple things I have to watch tonight.
Yeah, but that's what will be coming up tonight. The Flyers, sadly, are not playing, but they are playing on Wednesday. They have a split squad matchup against the New York Islanders, and it does not look like they're going to televise these games. Why is beyond me, but
Has to be a home game, I think, to be televised.
I think so, too.
well, the weird part is one of these are.
Yeah.
That's the weird part.
Oh, the split squad with the Islanders.
Yeah, that's weird. One of these are. Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
They might just be like a blackout regulation or whatever. It is preseason. I know they're not in desperate, dire need of televising some of them.
True. I mean, because CSN could just easily overanalyze the 2 Eagles games that have been played, and the Eagles only won one of them.
And then you also still have the Phillies that are still playing too.
Yeah, but I mean, the Phillies aren't going to be competing for the playoffs or anything like that. So
Nah,
I mean,
but there's
progress is being made though out there in the Diamond. So you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, with that all being said, we move on from today's matchups. We get right back into the Flyers. The Flyers, of course, like we said, starting off against the Islanders. I got to ask you guys, after the first preseason game, has your opinion changed on the Flyers somewhat? Do you think the Flyers do better this season, or do you think they do worse? I can't really imagine you say they do worse, but still, where do you, has it changed at all? I mean, I know it's only preseason, but still.
No, I mean, it's strengthened a little bit. I mean, some of these kids, specifically Nolan Patrick, playing up to snuff, this early in camp is a good sign. It really is a credit to the development camp, and getting these kids ready. Yeah, I mean, even you look at a combination. I've seen newly acquired Laterra paired up with Valtteri Filppula. Wow, that was bad. I can never get his name right. I'm sorry. Apologize. But, I forgot, his fellow Finns. You know what I mean? They've played together before, and a guy coming to a new team, new city, can help with that adjustment. I'm really geeked up on Laterra as being a valuable asset to this team.
I think I'm still middle of the road. There's still some players that I want to see play with my eyes just to say that I've seen them play. I mean, I'm confident in Samuel Morin. I'm confident in Travis Sanheim. Those guys are going to come in and they're going to make a huge effect on this roster. Some of the forwards I still want to see. I still want to see Vecchione, see how he progressed. Nolan Patrick I want to see play. So I'm still where I am. I still think they're going to be on the bubble, but they're still just going to miss.
Right.
So my opinion hasn't really changed yet. It's only game 1.
Yeah, it's only game 1, and I mean the talent in these youngsters really is impressive. There's a reason why the Flyers were selected as number 1, farm system in the NHL by the Hockey Writers of America. It just, when does it come to fruition? And it can start as soon as this year. I mean, you look at a kid we mentioned already, Oskar Lindblom, really working well with Giroux in 2-on-2 drills. Really looking impressive. Matter of fact, the two got together. Giroux slipped a sneaky pass right through, and Lindblom buried it. There's a lot of hope. And that's all you ask for. And will it come together this year? It can. It can, because these are really talented guys. It just the Flyer. I cannot applaud the Flyers upper press enough for how well they've done over the past 4 drafts. Really well.
So with that all being said, my opinion of the Flyers is that I think that they're still gonna be where they're at. I haven't really changed anything drastically on my opinion. I just think it's very good look at the rooks and very good opportunity for a guy like Nolan Patrick to make the team, and not just him, but as well as guys like Vecchione who are already going to be on the team. Good chance for guys like Sam Morin to get themselves established early. Possibly, see Robert Hogg get on the team. Maybe Sanheim stay permanently on the team.
Morin and Hogg have been separating themselves from the pack, even over Travis Sanheim, who we thought was a lock for this team. Sanheim had a bad giveaway that resulted in a goal, not in that preseason game. This is in the rookie game. But if it becomes a numbers game. You can't have everybody up. So, I mean, there's a lot of talent. I mean, you forget about Mark Alt. You forget about Philip Myers. You forget about Mark Friedman. Remember, Mark Friedman was a pretty high guy drafted for this team that I remember back in the day you said that had captain qualities, very strong leadership qualities.
Yeah, that was true. I forgot. It's been a little bit.
I do pay attention when people talk sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I don't think anybody's going to forget about Philip Meyer. If he doesn't make the pro roster for the Flyers, which with the way they're going right now with who they have, could be a year or two, ship him off, send him somewhere. He will play in the NHL one day. He's a good defenseman.
Yeah.
He's got very good qualities.
Agreed. Very intelligent team, too. You know, making smart plays on the ice. Also, I mean, we talked about the connection with Gostisbehere and Vecchione coming from college. You know, collegiate players, I mean, you know, you pay money for an education for a reason. Well, you know, I mean, does that translate on the ice? Sure it does, because intelligence just has yourself making the smart play, making the right decisions on and off the ice as well, keeping your nose clean. And that's very important. Not something you have to worry about too much in the game of hockey opposed to some other sports like football, but still, you know, keep the clubhouse together. Don't be a cancer.
Yeah, that is the goal right there. That's barring anything like that though, the Flyers should be able to go into this season with a fresh head. You know, not panicking about what happened last year. You know, not worrying or overthinking anything. You know, a lot of the rookies should be up. You know, guys who are taking spots from them are not here. You know, there's really only a couple of people taking spots, like McDonald. And that really, as long as you get an okay season out of McDonald, as long as we have enough of the young players up that are having a good enough experience, it shouldn't be as big of a detriment as it was last year, having somebody like him constantly in a spot he really doesn't deserve.
Absolutely.
You know, it doesn't seem like it would be too bad. You know, like I said, barring anything drastic happening, they should be able to get off to a pretty good start. And they're going to have a tough situation going to California, but they should be able to hold their own. I mean, they should be able to I think possible they could steal one in San Jose. They should be pretty good against Los Angeles. Anaheim's going to be a bit of a tough matchup for them because Anaheim's got got enough to match, more than enough to match. So that's a tough matchup there. But relatively overall, though, they should be able to snag a possible win, maybe even two out of this California trip they got to go on and start it off.
Agreed.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I think the Flyers have more than enough. San Jose is an aging team. Los Angeles is a team that is I feel like they lost their identity.
Yeah.
In the last year or two, and they just haven't found it yet. They have a great captain in Anze Kopitar, who I think is one of the more underrated centers in the league. It's just, they could very easily take 2 out of 3. And, not to, puff my chest a little bit, but I think Anaheim is really the only team that they will lose to on that trip.
I mean, that's the situation where the Flyers, they're going to be that scrappy young team. They're going to come into a building and they're going to be like, you know what? We may beat them, we may not, but you know what? They will know we were here. They will know we were here when we're done,
As long as they go out and they play at least 45 minutes, 50 minutes, they go out there, they give 110%. Even if it's a blowout, they still look like they played well. They just couldn't finish. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that loss.
Absolutely.
Consistent 60-minute efforts.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it more with a younger roster.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, much more easier to get them indoctrinated into a system.
In terms of energy, you know what I mean? Not failing in energy. I mean, you're going to have your growing pains. You're going to have your ups and downs over the course of every 60-minute game. Yeah. But, yeah, you're not going to see any quit in this team. That's for certain.
And I like it because Dave Haxtell being the coach. Having have dealt with young men before, guys who are around the age of Vecchione and Shane Gostisbehere in particular, but still, even younger guys than them who are going to be on this team. And Nolan Patrick's younger than them, and he could possibly be on this roster. It's great because if there's a mistake made, Haxtell's more than capable of being able to talk to them, just like, listen, it happens, and calm the young guys down. Only certain coaches have really been able to do that, I feel. There are some coaches that are better with veterans than they are with rookies, and it shows in their work.
Right.
Other coaches, they can't coach anything. And then certain coaches are much better with younger guys than necessarily older veterans.
Sure.
Because older veterans, especially if you're a coach who's dealt mostly with young guys, you try to put them into a system, you're not necessarily used to a big ego. Sometimes you are. Depends, because it depends on how much people, do entitlement and stuff like that. But
Right.
still, you come into the league of the NHL, the big leagues, and you got to deal with egos. And you got to deal with people like, oh, well, I've been on this team for how long? You'd be like, it still doesn't matter. I'm the fucking coach. You know, you're still supposed to do what I tell you to do at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, but I don't really think that's ever been a real problem. With Haxtell, I just think it's just been getting people indoctrinated into the system and having them fit. But I think it'll work much better with the young guys than it would with the veterans. Not to say the veterans can't do it, but it'd be easier transitional process.
Right.
No, I mean, I'm on board. I want to see more out of the young guys than the veterans, personally. Like Rob said, you're going to have growing pains. You're going to have ups and downs in these games. What I want to see from them mainly is them learning from their mistakes, like Ivan Provorov did. He only got stronger as the year went on.
He did.
Same with Travis Konechny. That would be a success for me.
Yeah.
You don't got to put in 20, 25, 30 goals on your rookie season for me to be impressed.
Right.
Just consistency, learn from your mistakes, and I'll call that a success for the season.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's not – and the truth is, you know, it's not necessarily like Brian's basically saying, it's not about how many goals you score. It's about how you progress in the major leagues. You know, when you're up in the big leagues, how do you play? How do you interact? How do you handle yourself out on the ice? And how do you recover from an error in judgment, you know?
Right.
And that's the thing. There's going to be a mistake. At some point, we're going to be like, ooh, that was a bad turnover.
Learn from it.
Yeah,
exactly.
The goal is for them to learn.
And that goes back to my intelligence point. You know, I mean, this team will be keen to pick those things up.
Yeah. So, I mean, relatively overall, though, the Flyers are going into this season with a lot more youth, a lot more – but here's the thing, a lot more potential, and with that comes the growing pains, you know, which – for anybody out there who's thinking that we're just immediately going to come in and we're just going to be that new young team that's going to just be like Edmonton,
right,
is out of their mind. Like,
or a better comparison, Toronto Maple Leafs,
yeah,
who weren't supposed to be competing yet and just was ahead of the curve. We don't have quite that level of talent on this team. I mean,
we have good talent.
Oh, yeah, I'm not putting it down.
Yeah.
We've just been praising it for an hour. But, yeah, no, I mean, you don't have that, you know, Mitch Marner. You know, that Austin Matthews, you know. Yeah. I mean, Nolan Patrick, we could be talking about in this company.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, you know when you're drafting Nolan Patrick, you're not getting an Patrick Laine, Austin Matthews. Right. You're not getting that real game changer, but you are going to get a good, solid player for years to come who's going to be who could potentially be a top scorer in this league.
Right.
And as time goes along, if it had to be where Giroux had to leave, he could be the captain. You know, or you could groom him to be a captain if necessary. You know, I'm only saying if that he'll probably have an A on his jersey before, maybe not necessarily this season, but if he makes the team. But I would say, like, give it a couple years and you'll see an A on his jersey. You know, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you do. No. You know, and that's a good thing because you want a guy who can be a leader on the team. And moving forward with a young team, a team that's going to be primarily defensive, that we're going to have a lot more stronger defensive end than necessarily offense. That doesn't mean we don't have offense, but our defense is going to be our bread and butter because we have so many prospects that we bought in for the defense, you know, and that's going to be the team that's going to be pushing us forward. Will we win a division? I mean, it's possible. It's possible we could win a division a few years down the line from now. Depends on how the Rangers fell. It depends on how the Capitals are, and it depends on how the Penguins are.
Tough division.
It's a very tough division. Depending on those three teams is how we do in the future years to come, you know. And I mean, the Rangers are showing their signs of slipping, you know, the slowly.
No. I believe me. I said that point maybe even more vehemently last week, but then I saw their first preseason game. I was like, ooh. Maybe I was a little wrong, a little harsh on the blue shirts there.
Possibly. But
put my fan goggles on. No big deal. That's what we do here. We're fans. We're not, you know.
Yeah.
Possible. I mean, obviously, the Washington Capitals can't keep this up forever. And at some point, that salary cap's going to come and bother them big time. Right. You know, I mean, obviously, at some point, TJ Oshie's at the end of his contract, may want more money or may not, if he doesn't have a cup, he may go somewhere else. And how long is the Ovechkin, train going to keep rolling before they start realizing that, well, maybe we need to think something else here?
I'm glad you brought up Oshie, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I'm going to say it in one sentence. I think TJ Oshie is the most overrated player in the NHL. I really do. What has he done?
I mean, I kind of see where your frame of mind is. I mean, he only got hyped up because of that one shootout goal in a game that didn't really matter.
Right.
After that, it was TJ Oshie. Don't get me wrong. TJ Oshie's a good player. He's a good 20, 25, 30 goal player. Don't get me wrong. But he's way overhyped in this league.
Yeah, he really is.
Well, do you think they overpaid him then?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
He's got don't get me wrong. I think he's a good player in the league. He's just way overhyped.
Yeah, people need to get off their knees. Really.
But point being, though, is that, as we move forward with the Flyers, that team with Washington, eventually they're going to have to, come back down to earth. They're living right up there in the stratosphere right now. I mean, maybe not as high of the stratosphere as Pittsburgh is, but they're up there right now. They're high off of the Ovechkin train, off of the Ovechkin, weed that they've been smoking for the better part of, like 6-7 years.
Gotta get me some of that.
More, maybe even more. Point is, though, is that at some point those teams are going to come down. The question is how are they going to come down?
Right.
Because one thing that the Ducks have proven is that no matter how old you get, you still manage to be able to rotate in good talent. Can the Penguins do that? So far, they've been able to prove they've been able to get solid players. Do they have an answer for Crosby in the future? No. Currently, they do not.
Right.
Same thing with the Capitals. Do the Capitals have somebody to take Ovechkin's place? No, they do not. So at some point, they got to come down. That's my overall point. At some point, they're going to come back down to earth.
Agreed.
At some point. And we'll be there to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with that all being said,
get woke.
we will be back right after this. But first, I want to talk to you guys about the Sports Outlet. They are for all your sporting needs, and they are located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 and email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com. We got plenty more hockey action coming your way right after this. A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. I'm Matt Sassuti. This is the correct headset for me. And I'm also along with the broken one, Rob Povia, and the Darkwing, Brian Daly, behind the board. And this is the Hockey Happy Hour. We are brought to you by Liberty Event Rentals, located at 2154 East Cambria Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can give them a call, 267-314-7368. They got tables, chairs, tent, linens, everything for your party or event needs. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Halloween is right around the corner, and that's always a big party fun right there. If you want to have a good one, go to Liberty Event Rentals. And if you want to find them online, find them at www.libertyeventrentals.com. All right. Now we're going to ease on in here in our last part of the show here on the Hockey Happy Hour. Gentlemen, our Twitter poll was for the Rooks. Rob, what is the result?
Let's see here. We asked you which first of all, I want to get our answer first before we get to their answer, but I'll read the question. Which Flyers player impressed you the most in the preseason opener? Choices are Michael Raffl, Nolan Patrick, Travis Konechny, or other.
I don't know personally if I can answer that, but if I can rephrase it to give you an answer. The guy that I want to see is Travis Konechny.
Right.
We know this is a kid that is fast. He can play with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He can play with some veracity. I want to see his goal number go up. It was a little low for my liking last year, but he was still I thought he had a very successful rookie campaign. I want to see him progress. I want to see him take the next step. I want to see him hit 15, 20 goals this season. Right,
absolutely. According to, give you some context, Bri, Sons of Penn put out an article stating that in their GIF rewind that Travis Konechny and Michael Raffl it really impressed a lot in the preseason opener, along with, saying that those were the main standouts, along with Scott Lawton, Yuri Laterra, like I mentioned, Nolan Patrick, Oskar Lindblom, and Matt Reed. They said we're all playing well.
Matt Reed, I don't believe.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
We'll just factor that one right out. But yeah, they did mention Reeder there, so I figured I'd say that. Absolutely. What say you, Maddie?
For me, I will say actually, I would say Mike Vecchione as an other, because just establishing early the chemistry once again between him and Gostisbehere, having not played with Gostisbehere in, I would say, a couple years. Sometimes you lose it, and sometimes you get back on the ice. It's like you never left.
Right.
You know, I like that. I like seeing that they're starting early.
Absolutely. So that being said, well, my opinion is I'm gonna go Konechny. He looked really good. He showed that expertise from year one. Got, kind of being paired up with some of the younger players, as we mentioned before, and really made a difference. He's going to be that raw scorer for this team. So, Brian, you talk about potentiality. I'm right with you on that in terms of Konechny, and so are the people. With this is a good number. 69% of the vote goes to Travis Konechny.
Great number.
But everybody else afterwards, pretty much around even between Raffle, and I'm surprised Nolan Patrick didn't raise a few more votes. And there's 23 hours still left to vote, people. So chime in, reply to the tweet, chime in on the book. Love to hear what your thoughts are.
All right. So it's a very interesting situation going on right here with the NHL, of course. As we all know, they actually are going to have a game in China. And believe it or not, they're giving a 21-year-old Chinese goalie a chance to play with the Canucks.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a cool situation. And for the NHL to be heading out to a place where hockey really is almost non-existent.
Right.
But it's cool to see the game, going to places that you wouldn't necessarily think they would be.
Grow it, yeah, absolutely. It's important. It's important for the NHL to stay relevant because you see all kinds of the other activity at an international level in other sports. I mean, first thought is football, having the London games, Mexico City games. Baseball always seems to start the season with a series in a foreign land. Also, WBC really heightens the international flavor, and basketball. A lot of people argue that basketball is really an international game. It's not our game; it's an international game, and I would agree with that. Especially see all the European players, their leagues being impressive, and then coming over to the NBA and just straight out dishing it and dominating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Yao Ming is the first one that comes to mind as a Chinese man who came over from playing in a Chinese basketball league and just dominated in the NBA. I mean, it's all these games, and to an extent, are global.
Right.
I mean, football is just another take on rugby. Baseball is a global sport. Everybody plays it all around the world. Hockey is another one. Mainly Europe and Russia, outside of the U.S. and Canada.
Right. If you can grow that, NHL has really taken a step forward in terms of being like, no, we are part of the major four, right? Continue that with these internet. I mean, I couldn't applaud. Am I going to say this? Yeah, I'm going to say it. I couldn't applaud Gary Bettman more. This is a good way to go.
I mean, the NHL has fallen behind in that brand growth. The NBA has grown in so many ways, and so has Major League Baseball.
This had to have been one of his subservient ideas. He couldn't have came up with this idea.
Well, yeah.
Take that
I mean,
applause
believe
back.
it or not, he does have some really great ideas, and he has improved the league as much as he has some bad ones.
Here's the thing, though, about that. Them falling behind in that brand, getting the brand out there and everything, it's really was a self-made problem because the NHL had consistent strikes and lockouts, and where other leagues were not.
Right.
I mean, basketball had a very minor lockout, and then they went back to playing, but that was it. The MLB did not have a lockout. NFL didn't have a lockout. And the NHL had at least two within the decade. The first decade of the 21st century. They had the one that canceled the entire season. Right. And then they had one that left us with 48 games.
I was going to say, are you talking recent present? Because that would be accurate. If you're talking all time, no.
No, not all time. Because in the 90s, they had a strike from the players. So it's just that was what really has been handicapping, hockey. Because hockey was doing okay. They were building up steam. They were on ESPN. They were there. They were considered. And then the lockout happened. And then they had all the problems with getting back onto a network because the ESPN didn't want them anymore because they lost money based off
Yeah,
of that,
you remember when they were on Versus?
Yeah.
Oh,
they still
man.
technically are. I mean, Versus is now NBC.
Yeah,
ESPN,
it's
yeah.
true. Yeah, true that.
Yeah, they went from ESPN to NBC. Everybody in the world has NBC.
Yep.
Not everybody has ESPN.
Which is good,
Truth.
though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a huge improvement for them. And NBC, of course. But NBC, though, taking that initiative, it wasn't just hockey they took the initiative on. They got everything. I mean,
Right.
they went and grabbed stuff from soccer. They grabbed the racing of the horses. They grabbed everything they could to be, and even golf. They went out there as well. And, of course, they already have NFL coverage. And I believe, wait a minute, does NBC broadcast the Super Bowl?
It depends. They
have.
rotate between CBS, Fox, and NBC.
Okay.
Yeah, it was CBS last year.
I think it's
believe.
Fox this year.
Yeah.
But NBC, though, stepping up with a lot of sports properties now. I mean, really competing with ESPN, and I think really outdoing them because they're even broadcasting like very niche sports, on NBCSN. ESPN doesn't even remotely come close to doing that.
Right.
So, I mean, the NHL getting established in ESPN, I think that definitely NBC really helps them moving forward in getting a bigger audience. And that's why I think that was the best thing that happened to them, actually, oddly enough, was them getting off of ESPN, strangely enough.
Truth.
But with that being said, gentlemen, one thing that I think we should resurrect, because we haven't done it in a while, is this day in hockey history. We haven't done it in weeks. I mean, only because it's been the off season. But I think we should do it since we are in the preseason. Hockey has officially got started up again, so why not? Why not go right back to it? So I got stuff up here. Brian, you want to look up stuff?
I'm going to look. You read off your stuff while I pull mine up.
All right, mine is mostly NHL-centric. It starts in 1998, where the Nashville Predators, who were then new, make their NHL debut, and they defeated the Florida Panthers 4-2 in a preseason game that was played in Huntsville, Alabama. In the Marion Caesar scored for the Predators for the first goal in Nashville Predators history. Highlight of that guy's career because he never played, I think, a single day in a Predators jersey.
Right.
But anyway. On to 1991, the Toronto Maple Leafs bring in some Stanley Cup experience in a trade with the Edmonton Oilers. General manager Cliff Fletcher acquired goaltender Grant Fuhr and forwards Glenn Anderson and Craig Berube, giving up forwards Vincent Damphouse and Scott Thornton, and defenseman Luke Richardson and goaltender Peter Ing.
Ing, huh?
Yeah. Grant Fuhr playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Wow. Definitely had to have been a little bit past his prime in 1991. Anyway.
No doubt about it. Going back to that first point you said or whatever, that dude's still talking about that goal. He's like, he's going to tell that grandchildren, oh, it was a laser beam, top shelf.
Yeah.
I never realized Grant Fuhr played for Toronto.
He did, apparently. In a trade, he apparently went there with Edmonton. So, wow. After the Edmonton Oilers won in 1990, they truly did blow up the Oilers. Anyway, to 1990, speaking of which, the Pittsburgh Penguins defeated Wayne Gretzky and the Los Angeles Kings in a 5-3 preseason game victory at St. Petersburg, Florida. The game drew an announced crowd of 25,581 fans in the Suncoast Dome, which is now Tropicana Field. It was then the largest for any NHL game.
Wow. It's impressive.
That is crazy when you think about it. Now, just imagine if Lemieux and Gretzky had ever met in a Stanley Cup Finals. They might have put the Stanley Cup Finals on hold and said, we're not going to do this in just regular arenas. No, we're going to do this in stadiums because that's what this is worthy of.
Surely.
All right, and my final one for this date on September 19th, and this one's a flyer one.
Nice.
Eric Lindros made his much-anticipated NHL debut with the Philadelphia Flyers in a preseason game against of all teams, the Quebec Nordiques at the Spectrum.
Isn't that funny how that always works out? Like this
It
day,
always-
that happened on this day.
On this day,
Wow,
this happened.
nice.
It's funny how some things go full circle.
It is. And Lindros did not disappoint. He would gain 2 points, 1 goal and 1 assist in a Philadelphia 4-3 win. And Lindros would make his first NHL appearance against the team he refused against in 1991, of course, as he was drafted by the Quebec Nordiques and refused to play for them because he just didn't want to. So, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is weird, and you covered everything.
I did? There's
Yeah,
nothing
that's
you got
nothing-
on there?
nope.
Wow. All right.
I mean, we can say happy birthday to a few people.
All right, say happy birthday. Let's go.
Rick DiPietro, Dan Bosma, Yoni Pikkinen, and I'm not even going to try some of these other names. Oh, my God. Ed Westfall.
Okay, Ed Westfall. That's
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to try.
write them down.
Well, happy birthday to these other guys.
Write them down and see if I can try it.
Odie Cleghorn,
Cleghorn.
Andre Bourgeois,
Boudoir.
and Craig Laughlin.
Laughlin. Okay.
That's how I would assume it.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Gilbert Dione.
Or probably
Dion.
Dion.
Okay, Gilbert Dion. And that's it.
All right.
Well, we talked about some births
I
and some
didn't,
birthdays.
I didn't do so bad.
No,
Not at all.
No, not at all. You handled yourself just fine. Like
High
a
five.
champ.
Well, it's better than me. High fives, very nice. So we covered some celebrations of birth. You let off the show. Maybe we could end the show. Little heartfelt best wishes and prayers to the family of Bobby the Brain Heenan passing away at 73. He'd been in ill health for quite some time. So, I mean, in a sense, it's great that the man is resting in peace. But it's always sad to lose someone. And he was just, you want to talk about heels.
Yeah.
I think he was arguably the greatest heel of all time.
He has to be the greatest heel manager that has ever existed.
Right.
I don't think anybody competes with him.
In a tribute that WWE did on Raw last night, I learned, and I maybe knew it at one time. I probably burned those brain cells long ago, but he was a wrestler. He did wrestle.
Back in the day, way back in the day. We're talking like the 60s, when he was wrestling.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, anybody here? I know you guys did this on FDN, but might as well reiterate for anyone who missed it, which, by the way, you can catch right before the Hockey Happy Hour at 12 o'clock sharp on a2dradio.com. Shameless plug just for the Mick Foley fans out there.
And our show, every show on demand on our YouTube channel. Anytime you want, you watch the shows too if you're not available.
Absolutely. So, what was your favorite Bobby the Brain Heenan moment?
Oh, my God. Wow. I'm going to have to say, and it was a promo, and it was so far ahead of its time, right, that you're starting to see like other wrestling companies like TNA do it, and they did it with the Hardys and part of the Broken gimmick in terms of the off-site shoots, like little mini movies. But back in the day, his longtime announcer mate, Gorilla Monsoon, were on this yacht sitting in these boats, and you just see them sliding off one way to another. I know it's a very small one, but there's that. I mean, him coming out with Andre the Giant, and what was that, WrestleMania 3, when it was Andre the Giant versus Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was his manager, Andre the Giant, coming out there, just, getting the crowd riled up or whatnot. He was just such a great orator. A lot of us here in the broadcasting business, maybe a lot of them put their nose up against people that are in the sports entertainment world of such as WWE, but there's a lot of talent there. You see that with, what's his name, Ronaldo, or the guy who used to do SmackDown.
Oh, Mauro Ranallo, I think.
Yeah, Mauro Ronaldo, right? Was one of the commentators of the Big Money fight this year, and there's a lot of talent there, and it all started from pioneers like Bobby the Brain Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon, and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, Brian, what you got?
I got nothing. I never really got a chance to watch them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, mine is actually not a WWE moment. It's a WCW moment.
Ah.
Because, unfortunately, I was too little and not born to see Bobby's WWE run.
Right.
So.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. So I only.
What about he did the first Raw? He came back and did the first Raw, which was pretty cool.
He did. That was when I was a baby though, because I was 93. So yeah. But
give me a gun, people, please.
But mine would have to be a WCW mode because it was the late '90s when I was still a little kid, but still, and it would be when Goldberg won the WCW championship.
Oh
off of
yeah.
Hulk Hogan, and you just hear Bobby just going crazy and just screaming at the top of his lung, saying that it was the first undefeated man ever to win the world championship. I just always thought that was a really great call by Bobby Heenan.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I think about that all the time when I think of Bobby Heenan was his commentating career, because he was always the color guy. He was basically the first version of Jerry Lawler, the guy who would make the smart-ass comments about everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
He got it before it was even an establishment.
Yeah.
Real quick shout-out to Phantom67 chiming in on YouTube. Goes, go Flyers. Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go Flyers. Hopefully they can make something happen. I hope so. I really do hope so. All right, folks. That'll do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. Time for last call. Everybody, we will see you next week for more hockey action. But first, I want to talk to you guys about the Soap Stash. They are the new soap standard. You can go on Facebook at Soap Stash LLC to place your order, and you can find them at the web at www.soapstash.com with all 100% natural nutrients that will be ingrained into your skin and make you feel better, make you feel clean, make you feel awesome, by the way. So with all that being said, though, from all of us here, Master Sudi, Rob, the Broken One Povia, Brian, the Darkwing Daily. This has been the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com, and we will be back next week on A2DRadio.com.